Sandra Magsamen is the author and illustrator of multiple books for young children. She is an award-winning author and artist, and her book really has me thinking about the power of board books to connect us with others. On the show this week, she's here to talk about her latest board book, which is entitled 100 Ways to Say I Love You, which reminds parents and caregivers about the emotional foundation they are building one hug, one moment, one page at a time. Please welcome to the show, Sandra Magsamen. Sandra, you are here with another beautiful board book, but I know you have a background in art therapy. And as a reader, I can't help but turn the page. And honestly, it's beautiful. It's loving. It's an act of connection. Can you talk a little bit about your process and how connection is, I think, really at the heart of what you are doing here? Does that resonate for you?
With every word you said. Absolutely. That is the heart of what I'm doing.
So when you decide your next project, you've already encountered millions of readers. Where does that process begin? Does it start with inspiration? Does it start with, well, I really like doing this with my last work? Take me to the very beginning of this book. Where did the idea come from?
Well, I think some of my work, the board books, they have a lot of novelty components in it. And as a therapist, I'm really interested in how kids can have books be vehicles for comfort, for hearing that they're loved, for feeling the acceptance, for making them know that they are connected with other people in the world in the most beautiful way. So, for example, like I Love You, Honey Bunny, the title, I Love You, Honey Bunny, You're My Little Honey Bunny. They're the ears that a child can hold on to and snuggle when they go to sleep at night. They're the transitional object that they take and hold close when mom and dad put them to bed and leave the room. So many of my books are about love and telling the child that they're loved and worthy and incredible and perfect just how they are. So as I began really thinking about the next project, I thought that love is a verb. It's an action. Parents, caregivers, grandparents, teachers in the way they teach are sharing with the child that they love them. But one of the things I know as an art therapist and as human being is that we individually ourselves, we need to learn how to love ourselves as well. And what does that mean? What are the actions that we take to love ourselves? So this book does two very important things, three really. One, the caregiver gets to tell the little one how much they love them. Done. We know how to do that. We do that a lot. But secondly, because of all the actions throughout the book, the little one begins to learn how to love themselves, to listen to themselves is an action, to believe in themselves, to dream big. So that begins to happen for the first time in my books. But that emotional intelligence that we're sharing with the child at this age is invaluable. It gives them the infrastructure to build self-esteem, to build agency, to build a life that is the most possible, that has filled with possibility, where they can start from being trusting and comforted and believe in themselves. And then the book teaches the child how to love others, how to listen to somebody else, how to include other people in a game, all those things. So it's where my books have always been about love. This is love in action. And when I was sharing this book with my editor, I was reminded of one of my favorite things, and characters, which is Winnie the Pooh. And my favorite part of almost all the stories is when Piglet says to Pooh, "Can you help me spell the word love?" And Pooh says, "Oh, Piglet, you can't spell the word love. It's a feeling." And that's what I want this book to be, just filled with feeling and ideas and prompts and suggestions and playfulness. And what happens is when a person reads this book to a child, they begin to do the actions. They tickle the child. They say, let's say cock-a-doodle-doo, I love you. And then they all yell, cock-a-doodle-doo, I love you. So the book now, the novelty in the book is the action that we bring to it. And that was my goal from the beginning, was to really have the book become an action, which is love.
There's, of course, the tangible nature of a board book as well.
Yeah.
You mentioned those moments of playfulness and how critical that is, of course, for childhood,
Yeah.
arguably for adulthood as well. Sandra, I'm wondering, your younger readers are probably too young to necessarily give you the feedback, but I'm guessing you hear back from adults a lot about how intimate the shared reading experience is. And I wonder, as an artist, as an author, what sort of feedback has really resonated with you? You've had this remarkable career of creating just connection text after connection text. Does something come to mind that you have heard back from a reader that has helped you understand just how significant your work is to readers all over the world?
Well, I am really grateful that people do reach out to me because my whole mission is to help people connect one heart at a time. And you never know when you create something, how do you connect? How do people, respond, and does it touch them? And when people write back to me, it's so validating and humbling, and it gives me ideas to do the next thing. There have been so many stories. I can, off the top of my head, there was a book that I did that had a recordable component to it. It was a poem for a child. And a woman wrote me and said that her baby was born that was in the NICU for many months, and that her mother gave her the book and told her to read the poem in the book. And the nurses played it for the baby every night, all night long, so that the baby would know their mama's voice. It made me feel like I had done my job, which was to help one heart touch another. Even today, I was a caller called in on a radio program and said, well, I got the book. I was going to read it with my grandchildren. They're coming over and they canceled on me. And so my husband and I got in an argument, and I read the book to my husband. We're not arguing anymore. I thought, that's great, because they really are. These are simple ways, everyday ways to say I love you. And no matter what age you are, it can be any age. And it's a gentle and simple reminder, if you already know that love is in our actions. Just to get back to that pretty simply, there are so many, and it makes me think that I should really go through my archives, because I write everything down. I journal every day, and really try to pull together the ways in which, my books have changed lives or touched lives. I have designed a lot of products along the way, whether it's stuffed animals or blankets or things that children give them comfort. And I got an email not that long ago from a 16-year-old who said, I hope this finds you. I just need you to know this, that I was given one of your blankets when I was a baby. And that blanket was with me all my childhood. I fell asleep with it. I cried with it. My mom let me take it to school when I had to go to school and leave mom behind. It's been with me when I lost my grandparents, and I'm 16 and I need a blanket more than ever. And I just wanted you to know how important it was to me.
Oh, that's beautiful.
And that was like, wow. To have the life of a blanket. And that was an idea for a book for me too, thinking, wow, the way an object becomes meaningful in our lives, whether it could be a blanket, it could be something. My grandmother made granny slippers. I have every granny slipper she ever made for me, because they had they're made by granny. And I feel like I have a piece of her. Objects and books become infused, not just the meaning that I hope that they carry, that is my intention, but who gave it to her, who gave it to the girl with her blanket, who gave the book to the baby, the story behind it. It's how we begin to build the stories of our own lives. And I think books are at the center of that. And books, I think, do change lives, and they help build our lives. Like Winnie the Pooh for me. I mean, Winnie, if I think of A. Milne and the character that he created and the stories that he told, helped me, all these years later. But the men who were fighting during the war, Winnie the Pooh was important for that. But made him believe that there was home and the people cared and there was kindness still in the world. So I think books have so many ways to really touch a life and touch a heart. And we need that.
We need that. I couldn't agree with you more. And I wonder if, in closing, understanding the significance that they can play in a reader's life, how they shape worldview. Again, this is something that, as you mentioned, you've been doing for such a long time. And I wonder, if you have any words of wisdom for how you continue to keep your creative battery charged, because the depth and the width of your career is not to suggest it's easy. So do you have any advice for someone who's thinking, I love what you have modeled and how creative your life is? What makes that possible for you?
That's a very good question. I am very curious. I always say my middle name is Perseverance because I love to just keep going. I'm a problem solver, and I look around and I look at the world, or I look at my day, and I think about things that maybe could help. How can I serve? What message might be useful today for certain group of people, or for me, children? I spend a lot of time. I also do write for adults, and I write poetry every day. I think finding the beauty and finding the connections in the world every day keep me going. And then I'm always looking for those puzzle pieces to put together to make the whole out of parts that might help clarify things. I did a series of books that were ABCs for all the states in the country. And I love learning about all the states because, again, I'm just so curious and I'm interested. And a lot of those books are filled with food. And I said to my daughter, who works with me in the studio now, it's also great working with your daughter. I said, and we love to cook. And I said, you know what could make those books better? And she's like, no, Mom, what? And she's like, can't wait. I said, to hear what I'm going to come up with. But we should do cookbooks for every state in the country. And because we would love it. So it fills this need. And so cooking with kids, like we did, my daughter and I cook all the time. We did it when she was a little girl. So that's how that idea comes out. I'm trying to describe how an idea might be birthed. There's no one way for me, but I'm always looking for something that is something that I'm passionate about, that I love, something that solves a problem, and a sense of message that I think is important. My mission has always been to connect one heart at a time. And there's not just one way to do it, but you could do it in the garden, you could do it baking, you could do it writing, sharing a story. So I'm looking at medium and modality and formats to do that in. So, and I'm curious, and I'm curious at every part of my life. And I think I'll be a grandmother next year. And so I'm really interested to see how that plays a role in my creativity and the books that I want to write and the grandmas that I want to talk to and that sort of thing.
I love that. Well, again, I love that every work that you put out models that curiosity in a different way. The latest book is absolutely a treasure. I love the message that you are sending with it. And Sandra, we can't wait to see what you do next. Thank you so much for coming on the show and sharing more about this beautiful book. Love is a verb. Of course, it's a great message for Valentine's Day, but really every day. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Tricia. It's a real pleasure to speak with you.
Thank you for listening to today's podcast. And you probably already know this, but the hardest part of AI in schools isn't the technology, it's leading the change. You're not looking for hype, you're not waiting for a silver bullet, and you're definitely not interested in rolling something out just to say you did. That's the kind of leadership we work with at Shifting Schools.
The BAKE framework exists for leaders like you who get it. Clarity matters more than speed, trust matters more than tools, and pretending that you are certain helps no one. The BAKE framework is not a program you adopt, it's a shared stance you lead from, one that helps your team make sense of AI together without panic. If today's podcast resonated with you, great, you're already doing the work the BAKE framework is designed to support. And if you want language and structure and strategies for the kind of leadership you're already practicing, come learn more about the BAKE framework at shiftingschools.com.